Hey everyone, Scott here to discuss Omen 4, The Awakening, starring Faye Grant, Michael Woods, Michael Lerner, Madison Mason, and Asia Vieira. I don't know if I'm saying that right, please forgive me. And directed by Dominique Athenin Girard and Jorge Montesi. Now, let's just get straight into this movie, shall we? The sisters are on the phone with Karen York, played by Faye Grant, and says whatever baby they have is a special baby. And we move on to Dark Clouds, and she with her husband Karen and her husband Gene, played by Michael Woods, go to the church and to adopt the baby girl. They were planning on adopting, and Sister Yvonne runs like she's afraid of something and goes to the head nun. Then we move on to the family introduced to Delia as a baby, and she scratches both mom, well, maybe just the mom more than, or Karen in general. And it goes back and forth between that and the Sister Yvonne going until she gets terrorized by the devil in the first 10 minutes. Of all this, and is all over the place. Delia gets almost baptized, but she is afraid of the holy water, and she might be the daughter of the devil, or another antichrist, let's say. And now the priest dies, and this movie is all over the place at this point, and I'm not forgiving with these characters as the original Omen, and I don't like Delia as much as Damien from the first film. Gene is a politician in Virginia and is running for congressman, and Delia has a birthday party, or is at a birthday party, let's say, as she runs from her mother while playing around and almost getting hit by a truck until a dog saves her life. And we get Delia to school when the school bully smashes her lunch and puts gum on her hair, and she hits him with a lunchbox, and he punches her and beats him up. And the parents of the asshole bully are some of the biggest assholes, as the movies say. If he hit her, she deserves it. And the next day at school, she teaches him a lesson as he pisses his pants. And the asshole, the bully's father, wants to press charges, and he gets killed as he's not paying attention to a truck coming towards him. And that was a cheering moment, as it serves him right. Delia tries to go horseback riding, and as she hasn't made any friends, and the horse is freaked out by Delia's presence and throws her to the ground, and she goes to the hospital, and I still don't get what the fuck the plot is. They hire a nanny named Jo Thewson, I don't know if I'm saying that right, who's afraid of the dog they have in the house, and Delia isn't used to having a nanny, as she's rude to Joe, and she's called a friend, and she calls a friend named Noah, and he suggests her to go to the taking her to the fair, and I don't know if he got sick or what was his problem, and I thought with a cold or on drugs. I'm getting the impression it was drugs. And I'm honestly unsure what is going on in this godforsaken movie. While at the fair, everyone is freaked out by Delia, and Joe tries to get a picture with Delia by Noah, and he realizes she's another antichrist. And the fair burns down, and I'm not enjoying this as much as the original. I'm just going to be brutally honest there. Delia and Joe have a talk about what happens in her life, and she spits in her face, and the dog kills Joe, and we're in the hospital again. And the doctor says to Gene, Karen's pregnant, and Delia doesn't want another baby in the house, and she is not well developed as Damien was. And Karen knows Delia doesn't want another baby based on her body language, and I'll give the actress who playing Delia credit for body language. I will give her that. A couple of ladies pass out flyers with a cross, and Delia as she destroys it and threatens him with the dog, and tells Gene and Karen the opposite of what happened, as she says they frightened her. And I start to lose interest in this movie at this point. Karen goes to Earl Knight, to investigate who's Delia's real parents, who's Delia's real parents are, and asks where they're at, and has no luck. And Karen is 8 months pregnant. And during these times, and Delia tries to kill the baby while she gives birth to it at the hospital. And what is it with this movie about hospitals? Meanwhile, Earl tries to have a word with Sister Yvonne, who now calls herself Felicity, about Delia as a baby while carrying a snake as she, with Earl, gets bitten. And they both wind up at the hospital. Again with the hospital. Earl healed much faster than Felicity does, and as she tells him something about Delia and the devil's presence, kills her. And Delia has a baby brother, as she looks jealous, I'll say, but that's normal to anyone having a younger sibling, to be jealous of the baby. Earl goes to a trailer to see the cross of Jesus, and it's Christmas time, and Earl sends a package to Karen, and he sees baby Jesus as a devilish-looking creature, as well as some demonic-looking people, which was fucking random, I will say, and he gets killed by a wrecking ball, which was an inconsiderable death. Karen comes home with the baby boy named Alexander, and she tries to keep Delia away from Alexander, and I was beginning to check out of the movie at this scene. Karen realizes that Delia is another Antichrist after Damien, and wants the truth about Damien, as she takes a stab at the doctor, as the doctor pulls out a gun and is killed by Karen, and she's home, and she gets home with a gun and kills the new nanny as well as herself, because Delia forces her to, because she can't kill kids. And I'm not satisfied with this climax, but we'll see how the remake does next time. Now it's time for the rating. I'll give this movie a 1.7 out of 10. I lost interest in the movie an hour into it, and I checked out at like an hour and 25 minutes into it. I was not satisfied as much with this movie, as it was a mistake to make in an Omen movie without Damien, as I don't care for Delia as much. The plot goes nowhere for me, and I'm thinking it might be time for a remake, but we'll see how that goes, for better or for worse. So I'd like to thank you guys for joining me, and next time I will be back with the remake of The Omen. And until next time, the truth. Where does it end?